Engineer Professor Elsie Effah Kaufmann is Dean of School of Engineering Sciences, as well as an Associate Professor and founding head of the Department of Biomedical Engineering at the University of Ghana, where she began her teaching career in 2001. She initially joined the Department of Physics and also supported teaching in the dental school and the then newly formed Department of Physiotherapy. During the period between 2001 and 2006, she was a member of the University of Ghana committees that prepared proposals for the establishment of the Department of Physiotherapy, Radiography, Audiology, Medical Physics, and the then Faculty of Engineering Sciences, now the School of Engineering Sciences. In 2021, she served as founding head of the Department of Orthotics and Prosthetics at University of Health and Allied Sciences. Engineer Professor Effah Kaufmann's teaching and research focus on tissue engineering, biomaterials, engineering design in the Ghanaian context, and engineering education. She has consistently cultivated a reputation for service, having served on the University of Ghana Council and many other committees. She currently sits on the boards and advisory councils of the Institute of Project Management Professionals, Ghana and Education Sub-Saharan Africa, ISA. She is also a fellow of the Ghana Institution of Engineering, a fellow of Biomaterial Science and Engineering, a fellow of the Ghana Academy of Arts and Sciences, and an international fellow of the Royal Academy of Engineering, UK. She is the immediate past president of the Ghana Society of Biomedical Engineers. Professor Effah Kaufmann is noted for science and engineering education and has been the host and quiz mistress of the National Science and Maths Quiz since 2006. She has recently been inducted into the Trivia Hall of Fame for her achievements in and contributions of the world of quizzing. She has been an invited speaker at numerous high-profile fora, both nationally and internationally, and has received a number of prestigious national and international awards. She is the founder of Elsie Effah Kaufmann Foundation.
Good day, everyone. Good day, our distinguished guests, colleagues, and friends. It's a pleasure to be here joining you for this year's FEMITECH. Although I couldn't be with you physically, I am there with you in spirit. Thank you for the invitation. It's an honor to speak on a topic that blends innovation with inclusion and long-term human development, building sustainable tech leadership through women-led mentorship. In an era where technology shapes how we learn, heal, work, and solve complex problems, leadership in tech cannot be left to chance. It must be cultivated intentionally. One of the most powerful, practical tools to do that is mentorship, especially women-led mentorship. Today, I'll explore 3 ideas. The first is why women-led mentorship is essential for sustainable tech leadership. The second, what makes women-led mentorship uniquely effective. And the third, how we can build structures that endure, evolve, and scale. Now, let's start with why women-led mentorship is essential. We start with the landscape. Because the numbers tell a story we simply cannot ignore. Globally, women account for roughly 33% of researchers. Progress is real, but partly remains distant. In the technology workforce, women make up approximately 28% globally and about 25% of computing jobs, a modest rise, yet far from where we need to be. In engineering, the gap widens. Only approximately 15% of engineering roles are held by women. North America mirrors this imbalance. About 30% of STEM jobs are held by women, but representation dips below 20% in computing and engineering. In the UK, women comprise approximately 27% of the core STEM workforce, with growth stalling in technology fields. In Ghana, as of the 3rd quarter of 2025, the Ghana Statistical Service labor data showed that women make up approximately 25% of workers in technical and engineering-related occupations, with even lower representation in engineering and computer science roles. In emerging fields like artificial intelligence, women hold approximately 22% of roles and approximately 18% of research positions. These are critical spaces where future leadership is being forged. And attrition remains a serious issue. Over half of women in tech, that is approximately 56%, leave mid-career, often citing culture and lack of advancement opportunities. Education pipelines echo the challenge. Women make up approximately 35% of global STEM students, but only 19% of computer science graduates. And in the UK, women represented just 23% of computer science enrollments in 2022-2023. These statistics are not just numbers. They are missed inventions, unbuilt companies, and problems that have been left unsolved, which is precisely why mentorship matters. When women mentor women, something powerful happens. We combine representation with lived experience, turning abstract possibility into a visible, navigable path. And the impact is measurable. Structured mentorship programs can increase women's leadership representation by approximately 30%. So what is it that makes women-led mentorship uniquely effective? Women mentors tend to bring 4 assets that strengthen the entire pipeline. 1, empathy and psychological safety. Empathy invites honest conversations about bias, negotiation, imposter feelings, and resilience. These are topics that are rarely covered in textbooks. Collaboration over competition. Women-led circles often prioritize networks over hierarchies, creating communities that outlive any single parent. There is also holistic support. Good mentorship develops the whole person, technical growth, yes, and also confidence, well-being, and ethical leadership. Finally, community building. Women mentors build learning communities, study groups, meetups, and alumni circles that become renewable sources of opportunity. But the most compelling evidence is found in real lives. So let's look at some of these real-life success stories. Let's consider Araba J. Smith, Senior Vice President of Product Go Health. Araba's journey moved from consulting to strategy, analytics, and product leadership. She credits mentors who urged her to walk through open doors, which are opportunities she might not have pursued alone. Today, she leads multidisciplinary teams and champions emotionally intelligent leadership, proof that support plus stretch equals senior impact. I can also talk about Gayatri Tava, Senior Data Engineer at Amazon. Driven by curiosity and love of solving complex problems, Gayatri's path into data engineering was accelerated by mentors, and now she mentors others. Her story shows how technical excellence and community commitment reinforce each other, scaling impact across teams and generations. Now, may I speak about myself? I am Elsie Effah Kaufmann, and I'm the Dean of the School of Engineering Sciences at the University of Ghana. From childhood to a career as an academic and engineer, I have benefited greatly from both male and female mentors. But today I will talk about the female mentors. From my mother, my earliest mentor, to my mentors at the University of Ghana, and here I can mention Professor Isabella Kwachi and Professor Akusu Adumakwan-Popo. Thank you, my mentors. I have seen the power of female mentorship in my interactions with those who encourage me to reach higher than I might have done had I been relying on my own resources. So thank you again. Let's talk about community proof of skill. At a 2025 Women's Trailblazers in Tech panel hosted by the University of Washington, founders and tech strategists spotlighted the same theme: success is nonlinear, mentorship and intentional networking open doors, and one meaningful connection at a time can build powerful career lattices. These stories are different in detail but identical in pattern. Mentorship multiplies potential, and when women lead that mentorship, the multiplier compounds. All right, so how can we build structures that last? Let's look at a practical framework. If we want these stories to become the norm, we must design for sustainability. So let's look at a framework that we can apply in our universities, companies, labs, innovation hubs, and so on. First, we must institutionalize mentorship. Goodwill alone will not help us. Goodwill won't scale on its own. We need to formalize programs with clear objectives, matching processes, and outcomes. We must treat mentorship like any core leadership pipeline. We have to budget for it, measure it, and report on it. Next, we should train the mentors. The fact that someone is a great engineer does not necessarily make them a great mentor. We have to offer training in coaching skills, inclusive leadership, bias interruption, feedback delivery, and career navigation so that mentors are equipped to guide and not just give advice. Next, we must build vertical and horizontal flows, multi-level ladders. So look at senior women mentoring mid-career women mentoring early career women, students mentoring younger students, peer-to-peer circles. If we take this design, it makes every participant both a learner and a leader, renewing the pipeline continuously. We must also leverage technology to scale. If we use our digital platforms for cross-border matching, asynchronous check-ins, and community repositories, virtual programs will extend mentorship to talented women in regions with fewer role models, turning geography from barrier into bridges. All right. Now, the larger vision, sustainable tech leadership. What do we mean by sustainable leadership? Sustainable leadership grows people, not just products. It develops capacity, not just code. It prioritizes ethics, not just efficiency, and it builds systems that endure beyond any one or individual leader. Sustainable leadership isn't about individual heroes, it's about ecosystems. Women-led mentorship is the enzyme in that ecosystem. What it will do is to speed up healthy reactions without getting consumed, and it keeps the system renewing itself. As educators, engineers, founders, policymakers, and students, here is what we can do right now. First, we can create spaces where women are seen, supported, and valued, from our classrooms to code reviews to boardrooms. We can do this. We can champion women mentors. We have to recognize, reward, resource their labor, and realize that it's leadership, not just any extracurricular activity. We should invite more women to tell their stories. Visibility is a retention strategy and a recruitment strategy. We have to invest in mentorship infrastructure that will outlast us, policies, platforms, and programs with continuity. And finally, we must track the data and iterate, because what we measure, we move. And if we've seen mentorship raise women's leadership representation meaningfully, we have seen it actually. When we raise women's leadership representation meaningfully, we can do that by using well-designed programs that are sustained. Let me end with this. Mentorship is not charity, it is leadership. And when women lead mentorship, they light pathways that generations will follow. By building sustainable tech leadership through women-led mentorship, we are not only shaping careers, we are shaping future societies in the world. I thank you for your attention.